Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
This is the way.
This is the way. My helmet's off, though.
It's all right. We're not Death Watch. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Empire 161 Show, your show for all things New York Yankees, MLB, and at this time of year, Star Wars and The Mandalorian. My name is Tim. This guy over here is Ed. Ed, what's going on?
Yo, what's up?
Same old shit, man. How's everything?
Not bad, man. I can't complain. A little chilly today, but
keeping your mask on, keeping your hands clean.
Always. Might keep the hands cleaning thing going, man. That's I'm saying like after COVID, you know, it's not a bad thing to do.
COVID's back like Boba Fett, so
yeah,
it's back. It's out of the Sarlacc pit. It's ready to go. It's ready to wreak havoc on all of us. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm waiting for that moment to come. First the schools and then the jobs, and we'll see. I don't want to get that depressed, though. Let's talk about some good stuff.
No, let's be happy. Let's be happy.
Let's be in a good mood. Let's get some of this baseball stuff going here first. What have we got in the past week that we can talk about?
Just a few quick things. It was kind of a slow week for baseball, but as we talked about last week, DJ LeMahieu was up for AL MVP, but unfortunately did not come up, did not get that first place vote going. He came in third. He lost out to Jose Abreu. And then my pick for NL MVP actually was Freddie Freeman, and he did win the NL MVP last week. So that's two big pieces of news right there. Perhaps the biggest piece of news the Marlins made as Derek Jeter hired Kim Ng as the first female GM in U.S. pro sports. I'm not sure if it was done overseas, but like Premier League or something like that. But that's what we have. We have our first lady GM in sports. She'll be running the Marlins organization. She's been working in baseball for quite some time now. She's actually been in MLB for 30 years, including 21 in the front offices of the White Sox. She worked for the Yanks actually back from 98 to 2001. So pretty good stretch, when she was with the Yanks, and then she worked for the Dodgers from 2002 to 2011. She was also, after that, she was with the office of Major League Baseball as a senior vice president of baseball operations. And now, earlier today, she was introduced in a press conference to be running the Marlins. And I know the Marlins also have a female president who's running their team as well. So, Marlins making moves down there in South Beach. And then also the Hall of Baseball announced the Hall of Fame 2001 ballot, which features new additions of Torrey Hunter, Tim Hudson, Mark Burley, and Barry Zito. But then there's 14 players that are returning. Notables are, not popular here is Curt Schilling or Roger Clemens or Barry Bonds. Gary Sheffield, former Yankee, is on that ballot. Also not particularly popular here. Manny Ramirez, Andrew Jones, another former Yankee. Sammy Sosa, Andy Pettitte is still on the ballot. But he's only receiving 11.3% of the votes. I don't really see... I don't know. I don't see too many of those guys, all these steroid guys that are on there, to still quite make it. But you never know. They have been increasing. Curt Schilling's up to 70%. Roger Clemens is at 61%. Bonds is at 60.7%. Those are the pretty highest. Yeah, no, it is. Or some baseball writers, perhaps they're warming up to the idea of it. Like, I don't know. I personally, I don't want to see those guys get in. I think that's the only way you can kind of, slap them on the wrist for saying, hey, you did. We know what you did. You cheated. It's pretty obvious. This is how you're going to pay for it. But you never know. I don't even know if Schilling is a Hall of Famer to begin with. I don't think so. Besides my hatred for the guy, I just personally don't think he's a Hall of Famer though.
He's Hall of Famer being a douchebag.
Yes, if there was a douchebag Hall of Fame, he would have been a first ballot, like unanimous decision.
We've said this many a time. There's players you hate because of the uniform they wear, and then there's players you hate just because of who they are in real life.
Yep.
And Kurt Schilling is definitely someone you hate on and off the field, just as a human being.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't want to see him get in either.
No, I really don't want to. I mean, I also just don't think he deserves it, honestly. I mean, he's got really good postseason numbers. But if you look back at his career stats, they're not overly impressive. So I don't know. I hope he doesn't get in, but we'll see. He's currently leading the way for the 14 guys that returned in the voting ballot, but we'll see. Out of the new guys, I don't know. I'd have to take a look at it. I mean, Torrey Hunter was a ridiculous defender in center field. Hudson, Burley, Zito. I don't know. I don't think so. Honestly, I mean, like you said, it's pretty slow. I don't see it. I mean, Omar Vizquel. I mean, he's probably the greatest defensive shortstop I've personally ever seen, like during my time. So I could see that, but I don't know. Otherwise, I'm not. No, not.
Well, the wonderful thing is they don't have to put anybody in this year.
No, you don't have to do anything. You can get nobody.
Unique about the MLB Hall of Fame. They're like, nobody goes in. We don't care.
Yeah.
Nobody's worthy, and they'll skip it, which is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. So that's really it. I mean, I know there was some like Gary Sanchez trade rumors flying around that I know New York Post reported that they were open to the idea of it, which isn't really news because I mean it's pretty obvious. They could be open to the idea of anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I didn't really want to waste too much time on that one, but that's. I mean,
they're open to the idea of taking Mike Trout from the Angels. It doesn't mean it's going to happen.
They're
just open to the idea.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, shit, I could be open to the idea of buying a friggin' Mustang Shelby over there, but it doesn't mean it's actually going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
all right, so that's all the baseball stuff we got.
No, that's it. Very, very slow week in baseball, man. Hopefully, we got some stuff coming up soon as the free agent market picks up. But this episode's mostly Mandalorian.
I'm waiting for that to kick in. But let me throw out real quick for more baseball to put it in the books, guys. We'll be back this week to finally do the. They had a little. One of the guys had some medical issues, so he couldn't be able to do the show, but he's back in full health, which is good. Good for you. And they will be back this. I want to say Wednesday for their Met show, and they're all going to be giddy and in a real good mood because they got a new boss. So make sure if you want some baseball news, you tune into that. But for us, it's time to make the switch. If I had the Stallone thing going, I would do the switch, but I do not.
Sam, how are you going to do that and not have you have to? Well, I would have messed up your headphones. I mean, I would have been.
I know, can't do it. Yeah, so just an absolute phenomenal episode. Chapter 11 is called the Heiress. I was going to put it up there and I forgot. Oh, well. Before we even get started, Ed, because I said I get to see from you haven't seen the Rebels or the Clone Wars or anything, so I get to see through your eyes all this stuff. So what did you think of the episode? What do you think of all the new characters? What goes through your head first?
So like you said, that's actually a really good point. We're, for those who don't know, Tim and I are seeing this like two different lenses each episode now because they're dipping into, they're acknowledging the animated canon of Star Wars, at least, the current canon. I loved it. So I thought it was actually one of my favorite episodes ever of the Mandalorian run so far. Directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who, I mean, in my opinion, she's done maybe two of the best episodes they've had. I mean, she's, whatever you want to think of her running around in Jurassic Park with heels or whatever the hell nonsense that was, she's kicking ass in Mandalorian, man. Like, I'm almost to the point where I'm I would like to see her doing a movie.
Did she do The Prisoner? Which one did she do in season 1?
She did the episode with the ATST, with the village. Okay. I may have been called The Village. Yeah, I think it was like chapter 3, if I remember right.
Yeah, we get this first Gina Carano for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Where she's Clara Dune is introduced. Yeah, she did another one, kick-ass episode, the shortest episode of the season, but I think, from my perspective, it was the most informative episode of the season. I think there was so much to pick up there. Like you had mentioned, Death Watch, which we'll get into, is referred to as Watch on the show, but I know we talked and I did a little bit more reading up on it, which I need to just cut the bullshit and just go watch the damn Rebels and Clone Wars and stop reading about it. But
there's if you look online, you look on on somewhere, it'll give you every episode you need to learn everything about the Mandalorian. So you don't have to go through the entire 8 seasons of Clone Wars, whatever it is. You actually can skip around to the Mandalore, the War of Mandalore, Darth Maul, all that good stuff, the Darksaber. So you can skip around a lot. Well, yeah. So let's get into it. We picked up where we left off last week. We got Mando, the baby, the child, and Frog Lady with her babies, heading to this planet. I always forget the name of the planet already. Did they give a name to the planet? I think they did.
They did.
I forget what it was. Anyway, we know the Razor Crest is in really, 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 really bad shape to the point where they didn't know if they were going to burn up in re-entry. They don't, but they crash. They crash land on the platform, then fall into the water, which I thought was pretty funny. And then we see what could be a repurposed Imperial Walker turned into a crane.
So what I did see was... So that was the second time that we've seen this in Star Wars, because it was also seen in Solo, that type of thing where it's like, where it's going ahead and like a crane type thing and stuff like that. So that was seen at one point. I think it was in the beginning of Solo. So I thought that was cool, where you're bringing in stuff from like every movie, little tidbits here and there. I wanted to ask you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, was this the first time in Star Wars that they acknowledged the science of re-entry to like, an atmosphere and burning up happening?
Episode 3. Remember the big ship? Anakin crash lands the big ship.
Yes.
And
okay.
They burn up in re-entry.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So second time. Yeah. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I didn't want to cheat.
Yeah, it's the second time. Yeah, after episode 3, when they burn in re-entry, Obi-Wan, and well, I was going to call him the Emperor, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Senator Palpatine.
Senator Palpatine at the time.
So, so it was the second time. But yeah, it's a good to do stuff like that every now and then. So what's his name?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, your boy.
Neil deGrasse Tyson will come after us. He doesn't come after the Mandalorian next for its inaccuracy in science, idiot. So they get pulled out of the water. They're on this dock, and what do we see right off the bat? We see Quarren, which are also known as the Squid Face, and we see Mon Calamari, which I thought was a great. It's a great species to have both of them, because they are from the same planet. And if you watch Clone Wars, they were at war with each other. So maybe there's a peace that they've figured out. They've calmed down a little bit. The war is pretty much over, but they are from the same planet. They were at war with each other. Kit Fisto had to go and get into that one because he can also breathe underwater. Rest in peace, Kit Fisto. Yes. So Frog Daddy leads the Mando into the bar where he finally meets someone who would help him find these Mandalorians. It's one of the Quarrens, one of the Squid Faces, taking them on a boat. Now you don't see boats a lot in Star Wars.
No,
this was
really the first time we saw that. This is the first time we saw that.
Yeah, because you fly everywhere. You
exactly. Or the sand. Like this planet would look like it was majority water, like a body of water.
Because even in episode 1, they had a thing that went under the water. They didn't take a boat. So this is kind of like the first time they had a boat. So that was kind of cool. And one thing interesting enough is, how did they pay for this boat, by the way? The Mon Calamari, you go all the way back to episode 1, season 1. Remember, Kree Garga gave him Mandalorian money, credits. Yes. He didn't want it, but he took it. And again, they hark back all the way to that episode. And what does he give the Mon Calamari for information? That money from all the way back, season 1, episode 1. They don't forget nothing on this show.
Calamari
they don't forget nothing on this freaking show. It's fantastic. Yeah. So Karga knew ahead of time what was going to happen. So we were on the boat finally, and these Quarren are not nice people, or Squid Faces, whatever you want to call them. They tease the baby. They tease Mando, say, hey, go take a look at our gigantic creature they're moving called a Mamacore, which is, a big and nasty mouth, teeth-ridden creature of some kind. They knock the baby in. The baby has the child, has the well enough to close his capsule, if you look real quick, before he gets swallowed. Then they knock Mando in. Mando's stuck. He's pretty much going to die. And next thing you know, wow. For the first time ever, we see the Lady Mandalorian show up. Bo-Katan, followed by her good friends, who we never heard of before, Cosca Reeves and Axe Woven. They're all new. So we were wrong last week. Sasha Banks is not playing Sabine Wren.
For the record, that was and I stated it last week. That was an IGN theory. That was
a rumor.
We were dipping into it. But
it was a rumor.
But what I saw though, they're Bo-Katan's two sidekicks or whatever, they're referring to them as the Night Owls. What I'm seeing?
They are the Night Owls. They're
like Mandalorian Elite.
Yeah, they're like a little. That's their little group. Now, like I said, for you and for people who don't know, Bo-Katan used to be a member of Death Watch. She was the right hand woman to Pre Vizsla, which, by the way, Pre Vizsla was voiced by Jon Favreau on the Clone Wars. Again, full circle. We're coming full circle. Eventually, though, once Pre Vizsla lost control, because he joined up with Darth Maul to take over Mandalore, which is a big no-no. That's how she left Death Watch. But eventually, Darth Maul killed Pre Vizsla, and that's when she started the Resistance, the Mando Resistance, to take back Mandalore. And later on, in Rebels, Sabine Wren, like we said, she's the one who got the dark saber and gave it to Bo. Now, where she lost it, how Moff Gideon got it, is something hopefully they're going to express on this show.
Yeah.
Because we have no idea.
Okay. That's never been covered anywhere. That's just pretty much, all right, this is all new now. Okay.
It's all new.
Nice.
New for you, new for me, which is real nice.
Nice.
That was in season, I want to say 4. Yeah, season 4. But now we're also seeing that our Mandalorian was raised by, he wasn't just raised by any Mandalorians. He was raised by the Death Watch.
Which they referred to in the episode as the Watch.
Yeah, they call it the Watch. They don't want to call it the Death Watch, I guess. But yeah, so now we know why he's so fanatical about the helmet and that kind of stuff. But there are 2 different kinds of Mandalorians, which now will make sense on why some take it off, why some don't. But you saw his reaction when they popped the helmets off.
Oh yeah, he accused them immediately, like, where did you get this armor from and everything like that. He wrote them off as not being Mandalorian in 2 seconds, and then then Bo-Katan explains after they're done kicking ass on that boat over there, that the Watch, that's who he was raised by, and that they're seen as like extremists, like, was it religious zealots, I think is the term she might use, and this whole thing about keeping covering your face all the time, and I guess this is the way, though, is kind of just a strictly Mandalorian thing. It's not exclusive to the Watch, or as you refer to them as Death Watch, which I guess they call them that in Rebels, or is it Clone Wars?
Clone Wars and Rebels, basically.
Yeah,
but by Rebels, it's pretty much they got to go through Darth Maul, because that's when Darth Maul really came back and caused a lot of problems. Yeah, he basically ruled Mandalore.
Oh,
and
wow.
he killed Pre Vizsla with the darksaber.
So he had the darksaber at one point.
They had it, yeah, because that was the Mandalorian reaction to a lightsaber.
Nice.
They said, you're going to have lightsaber, we're going to have a darksaber, something to counteract the lightsaber when they used to battle the Jedi back in the day, whenever that was. So they tell Mando to team up with us. He says no at first, but a little convincing. They rescue him again, about to get beat up by a bunch of squid faces. You killed my brother. No, he didn't. I did, and all hell breaks loose. He drops the kid off with the frog family, which is very dangerous. We know how that kid likes to eat those eggs. Yeah. But the frog family did a good job of watching the kid.
Mando tells him, like, hey, mind your manners and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about and everything. You can see he's looking at it. But as they cut away from that, though, I thought they had a pretty cool shot of, one of the eggs were hatching. And you saw him like little fly away. I mean, he's like floating and stuff. And then you see the child like he didn't know what they were before. He was just kind of eating them, I guess, because they smelled good or something like that. Now he's like, oh wow, I kind of get it.
Now I really want to eat them because they're like little froggies. Yeah, exactly. He loves him some frog. So what the Night Owls need from our Mando is to rob an Imperial ship full of weapons. And I thought one of the great cameos we had was Titus Welliver. Most known, I guess, from what's that show? Deadwood. Most people know him from Deadwood. I know him personally from Sons of Anarchy. I'm a big Sons of Anarchy fan. He played Jimmy O, one of the Irish mob bosses on there. He was really good on that show. You hated him so much on that show. And he also had his own show on Amazon. I forget the name of that one.
He was on Lost also, from what I understand.
Well, I don't watch that crap.
I didn't watch it, but I'm saying through my reading, that's what I'd say.
But that was a fantastic cameo. We got to see all the Mandos in full battle, kicking ass, killing stormtroopers. They take that ship over, and Titus Welliver tells Grand Virginia, "We lost." He said, "Well, you know what to do." So he just attempts to crash the ship. Now they catch him. They get the ship back. He kills himself with his little cyanide version in the Star Wars world.
First time we saw cyanide Star Wars, death right there. I don't recall seeing that at all.
So, I mean, that's really the whole episode. Like you said, it was very short. But the funny thing is, watching the episode, I watched it 3 times. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize how short it was. I guess I was so pumped up.
Yeah.
And so into it, I didn't realize it was like almost 10, 15 minutes shorter than the other episodes. I got so into it, I guess. But yeah, they flew off and said this is the way. They gave each other the whole way thing. But they gave the big instructions was to go to the planet Corvus, where we will see Ahsoka Tano live action, played by Rosario Dawson, on the next episode. And every nerd is having an nerdgasm, including Chris Figliotti, because we get to see what Ahsoka looks like on the live screen. And Rosario Dawson is no joke. No offense to the girl who did her voice in the cartoon. Rosario Dawson's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
She's great in a lot of things she's done. I mean, Clerks 2, and then she also was in Daredevil. I mean, anything she's been in, she's a top-notch actor. So that's an awesome talent that they pulled in to play her. So that should be pretty sick the next episode, providing that Mando doesn't get sidetracked into some other mission before we get to that.
I would not be surprised if the next episode was not Corvus, not Ahsoka Tano. The poor guy, ever since he got that kid, it's one after another. One thing after another. So like I said, that was basically the entire episode already. So tell me real quick, though, what did you like? What if you didn't like anything? You have any questions? Maybe I can answer about
I know.
About Clone Wars and Rebels, or because that's it. That's the whole episode. We already talked about it. We're only 20 minutes in.
Well, I think, I mean, it is a pretty short episode, but I thought some of the cool things that were in there too is when he does earlier in the episode when they go ahead and he meets we meet the Frog Dad, if we could call Frog Man, and Frog Woman get together and stuff like that, and then the child is looking at them and Mando's like telling him, I know you're hungry, we'll get you something to eat, and they get him some chowder, I guess, in that restaurant where he used the calamari flan. And then once they give him that, though, whatever the hell that thing was, it was like a squid or something, pops out of his chowder and it latches onto his face. And it looks like it was like aliens or something like that. And
it looked like the alien parasite, too, a little bit.
I thought so. And then the kid is, Mando's just like, I just love the way he just calmly told him, like, stop playing with your food, and just knifes the damn thing quick, and then he's done. And, and then drops back into the chowder, continues. And then later on,
he's sucking it up.
Yeah, exactly. And that same thing comes back at the end of the episode, though, when they're back in the Razor Crest, and because they fixed his ship, they fixed the Razor Crest in like calamari, whatever. And you see Mando's annoyed by this because you just paid like 1,000 credits or whatever they said for it, and it's being held together by like seaweed and like strings and stuff like that. And one of them gets in there again and goes for the child, and Mando, snatches him, and then we see him eating it. But just to even get back to what we're talking about, because there was that big uproar online about the child last week eating the eggs. So when Mando, after the whole mission and everything, when Mando goes to pick up the child from the frog people, he does go ahead and he's like playing with one of them that's like a baby one and stuff like that. And Mando says, congratulations. And he tells that, the child said he wants to like have him come with him now. He's like, oh, I have enough pets, on the ship. But you can see though that the child realized like, hey, these are living things. Maybe I should not eat the frog people or something like that. He's almost like made a friend. That's the way I looked at it. So all those people jumping off the house last week and like calm down now. I guess he was, reprieved from his some people were calling it even genocide. They were going that far. to say that he was doing that. He was like, I told you why I stood. I had no issues with it.
It's a child. You don't know.
Yes, he was eating eggs. That's it. That he didn't know what they were. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's any necessarily, because I kind of just did some reading up on part of this, but I don't know if you just mentioned it before, but if I understand, Bo-Katan was raised by Death Watch also, which she doesn't mention.
She was Death Watch also in the beginning, like I said, with Pre Vizsla. And once Darth Maul came and once all that stuff, he really became more fanatical. And then when Darth Maul killed him, that's when she broke off and she formed a different resistance to try to get back Mandalore, which I said Sabine Wren and Rebels helped them do.
Okay.
And she had the dark saber. It turned out that Sabine had some kind of, I think it was, I forget already too. She had force capabilities.
Okay.
They didn't realize until the last. No, Sabine Wren.
Oh, okay.
They didn't realize it, so she was the only one able to wield the dark saber or something like that. But I got to go back and do my research. But yeah, she helped take the planet back. Like I said, Bo-Katan did have the dark saber. Now, what happened between then and now? How Moff Gideon got it, and how Moff Gideon knows everything is still, everything. He knows everything. That dude.
Yeah.
He just like knows people's names. He knows where the sabers is. He's like, all right, you got to kill yourself now. That dude's crazy. Long live the Empire. I like that, though. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so we also got to see in the episode, too, that, further along, because we did see it in Season 1, where the Empire is like, they're almost like mobsters now. They kind of is like in pockets. We don't really know how much of the Empire is still operating, but you got to assume, my understanding is that they're operating kind of like little mob families that, if the New Republic hasn't caught on to them or something like that, they must be spread out throughout the galaxy, kind of like that, and running like, stuff like this. And what we were talking about is, the belief is they are the ones who ended up reforming and becoming the First Order, 30 years down the line or whatever. It's 25 years from what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, there's an Imperial, even in the chess, what I like about this, though, even in the original, now forgotten legends, there was always an Imperial remnant, always trying to survive, trying to fight. They're just not as big, not as strong, not as powerful anymore.
Yeah. After
losing the Death Star and the Emperor and Vader and that. But there's still those fanatical guys out there who believe in the law, the order, the way of the Empire. Just like Gideon, just like the Client, all these guys. And it's never going to go away. They're not going to go away.
Yeah.
They're just not instead of now ruling, they do hit and runs and that kind of thing. And the New Republic's out there trying to mop them up. But it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get rid of fanatics like that, which, in the real world, we know.
Yeah. That's true.
So, yeah, so they never go away. They may hide a little bit better later on, but they do end up becoming the First Order. So, yeah, they just never go anywhere.
Okay.
It's just, I can't wait to see how big they are, how big their network is.
Yeah.
Do they kill Gideon and that's it? Like they go dormant for a while, or like you said, is there like a 5 families of the Empire? There's another one waiting to take over, another Moff out there hiding somewhere, getting ready to take over.
Because Moff Gideon,
we know the Emperor's out there.
Yes.
Now we know the Emperor's out there somewhere.
Wow.
So we don't know what kind of strings he's pulling or anything. But
imagine that. Imagine if that's how they answer the question that everyone lost their shit about with Rise of Skywalker. That we find out that the Emperor has been just never stopped pulling the strings all these years, and they kind of acknowledge that in a kind of backdoor way.
It could have, but my understanding was it took him a real long time to get back to life. Do you want to call it that? I don't know.
He could be technically dead. At this point in time, he could be technically dead.
Like alive, but not really. Like his body had to be a clone, like a cat's. That's not his body, obviously. His body fucking blew up in the Death Star or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know how I don't know the science of cloning and transferring your essence into a clone, but I know nothing about that. Zero. Maybe Neil deGrasse Tyson does, but I don't know anything. So I don't know if he's actually out there and why he created Snoke later on to be that guy. It doesn't make sense to me. Part of that doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. You got to let it go.
Yeah.
We
went into that with Rise of Skywalker, that we kind of decided to let some things go in there, but it would be kind of interesting if they use the Mandalorian and like some of the shows to kind of like fill in certain things that were maybe scattered with the sequel trilogy or something like that, like little pockets here and there. I don't know. I would rather just see them stay on track and stick with what we're doing right now, because what they're doing is great. It's stuff that we've never seen. We're seeing all new, brand new stuff. It's every episode is world building that keeps on growing and growing. You know, the whole Star Wars lore that that we're knowing and loving and all of that. So it's pretty awesome to see. And what else was there? I don't know if there's necessarily any questions per se, but I know that lost train of thought right there. No, I mean the whole Night Owl thing. They're going to come back. We'll see them at some point. We'll see Bo-Katan because she's going to go ahead and Mando's going to need her for something at some point, and they'll team up and kick some more ass. Is there anything to the markings on her helmet? Does it look like there was like tattoos or something like that?
I think that's just the owl. I think it's the owl.
Okay.
I think there's just owl. I'm pretty sure those are the owl ones.
Okay.
No, really nothing else. But if you've seen the pictures from the Clone Wars, and they did a great job with Katie. Oh, Katie Sackhoff, by the way, plays Bo-Katan, which is another big nerd. She's a nerd goddess.
Yeah,
she can't do no wrong.
What was it, Battlestar Galactica?
She Battlestar Galactica remake.
She was on 24.
Yep, 24.
We saw her in. She was on. She was also on The Flash. She was one of the villains on The Flash as well. She pops up everywhere.
She's a nerd heiress. She's a nerd queen. So getting her on there is a big deal for the nerds.
And she voiced her on Clone Wars, right? In Rebels.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Another good thing. That's why I say having her and Jon Favreau back together again. It's so great. It's so great that they're doing this. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait till this Friday already. I said I think we might get teased though. I think we might get a Luke Skywalker type thing where we'll see Ahsoka in the last 5 minutes. Because he's going to get sidetracked. Look, man, the Razor Crest can't go nowhere. Well, it did jump the light speed though, didn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think it was sputtering, and I don't remember it jumping. I thought it was still sputtering. I think the Razor Crest, by the way, is in worse shape than the Falcon ever was.
It is.
I mean, that thing is being held. It's literally being held together by string and nets and crap like that.
Seaweed, Mon Calamari seaweed or something.
Yeah, it's weird. Do we think that maybe he ditches the Razor Crest at some point and gets a new ship, or do you think he'll get like a full makeover, a new revamping? Yeah,
I think a full makeover eventually. He's going to need some time though, like I said, because these last 2 seasons are picking. The episodes are one after another. There's been no 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. It's literally one after another. Mm-hmm. Him and his poor kid have been doing this for like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks of non-stop adventures. So, yeah, I mean, that was really it. I think it's a fantastic episode. I didn't even realize how short it was. I watched it 3 times. I was pumped up every time. Mm-hmm. I said, if you get into the Rebels and the Clone Wars stuff, you get more excited with what they can do with the show.
Yeah, I mean, I knew who Bo-Katan was because, again, reading and stuff like that and seeing pictures of her, and I knew her showing up. But I would wonder for someone who had no clue, because I was explaining to some guys that I play softball with that watch The Mandalorian and giving them a heads up, like, oh, okay. And it piqued their interest, and they were kind of maybe they'll go ahead and watch, Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff like that, which I will push myself to and stop picking up 1,000 other shows. It's like I'm in middle Titans right now and still keeping up with my weekly Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond and all this other crap, but, no live sports.
How was World Beyond?
It's pretty cool. It's kind of like its focus is on a group of teenagers with it, but it does build on stuff that we saw in Fear the Walking Dead, and it also might lead into where Rick is on Walking Dead. Yeah, because that helicopter and stuff like that, where they were taking him, that group is acknowledged in World Beyond. So it does have some importance. It's not just like a random one-off where it's like they're doing their world building and going on. Do you watch Fear the Walking Dead?
No, I couldn't get into it.
I'm going to tell you, though, if you decide to revisit it, I know the first season is rough. It pretty much sucks the first season. But after that show picks up, man. And for me, Fear the Walking Dead these last couple of years have actually been better than some of the seasons of The Walking Dead. Even though I did like The Walking Dead once they got the Whisperers involved the last 2 years, I thought it was really cool. Like it kind of got back to being good again. Because I know there was like a year or two where I was like, this is spinning its wheels and getting repetitive and stuff. But I mean, whatever. I dig it.
Did you watch the last episode of The Walking Dead?
Yeah, I did.
I cracked up when Negan saw Beta. He goes, "Do you know who that was?"
Yes.
I was cracking up. I was like, yeah, we all know now. It's a big super country singer or a super rock star, whatever he was.
Yeah.
But just the way he said it. Do you know who that was? Like he was so excited that this guy was a super famous rock star. But meanwhile, he's got his ass torn to pieces. But yeah, I just like the way Negan delivered that line. I thought it was hysterical. I couldn't stop laughing at that.
Part of my fascination with The Walking Dead, though, what's been going on with it is like you kept Negan alive for a reason. Like I just want to see what he does. His whole interaction with Alpha and Beta and all of that, and like during that whole Whispers thing was hilarious because
it was.
His just reaction to him was like, "Man, you guys are really out there. There's some really crazy shit in here." And then he eventually ends up getting down, and that was just crazy in its own right. But
that was disturbing.
Yeah,
he did what he had to do. Listen,
whatever it takes. Whatever, he took one for the team, literally.
He took one for the team. He took a big bald one for the team.
Yeah, exactly. But he ended up, slashing her eventually.
And then we'll see how we haven't seen Maggie with him yet. They didn't get to that point.
No, that will be interesting.
That's going to be
very interesting.
That's going to be the first time she sees him loose and running around and helping and being part of the team. She ain't going to like that at all. So
no, that's got to be something they'll explore as well. I'm glad to see she's back on the show too. She was a good character that I kind of just got like written off because I know she tried to do her own show on ABC or something like that, and that got canceled. I was like, all right, back to Walking Dead.
Just like all of them. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I said it was a short episode. It was a short week for baseball, short everything. So I guess we'll have to be back next Mando Monday, and hopefully, like I said, I think this episode is going to be longer. I know somebody was bitching about it. I saw someone took pictures. I actually took pictures. 50 minutes, 20 minutes, 30. I was like, dude, who cares, man? This episode was so jam-packed. It was better than the last episode.
Yes.
That was longer, but didn't have anything really going on. So stop your bitching. I'd rather have 34 minutes of nonstop action than 50 minutes of them walking through the desert or spiders and whatever the hell crash landing on ice and all that bullshit. So shut up, stop bitching already. Any final remarks before we get going? You guys got anything else? You got anything else?
No, I mean I would like to see where they're going to bring back Boba Fett now because it looks like Mando's quest, he's being quested to return the child. By the way, what I thought was interesting too is that he's returning the child to the Jedi, not to like his people per se, which still don't have a name. So he's returning them to the Jedi. So I don't know. I thought that was a little bit interesting. I thought he was returning them to like his people or his people among the Jedi. Is that what they're saying? Or maybe remember
the woman Mando in the first season told him about the powers he has.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, the only people that have powers were called Jedi.
So let's get him there.
I guess like, well, if he has the Force, send his ass to the Jedi. Because again, no one knows what species that he is.
Yeah,
and no one's ever seen him. Ahsoka's going to see him and go, "Holy shit, it's Master Yoda."
Exactly. I'm kind of like, what's going to be their reaction to that?
Oh, if Ahsoka sees him, that's a baby Yoda. That's a Master Yoda right there. Like, what the hell is that?
What if they start calling him Baby Yoda?
No,
they make the name official.
I hope not. He's not Yoda.
Not either.
Yoda's dead. They were alive at the same time. They can't be.
Yeah.
Yoda's only been dead for 6 years. This kid's 50. So they can't be the same person.
No, of course not. I'm just saying, like, they would call him like a nickname or whatever the hell, but
I'll still give him a nickname, all right. I'm hoping to get Ahsoka talking about, Anakin and Vader and all that good stuff. And even though the Empire is dead, it doesn't matter. Having her tell stories is just what I would watch 2 hours of her telling stories just to get some of those out of the way and see how messed up she is from all that.
Yeah. Well, for those who might be watching this who are unaware, you can explain who Ahsoka is. She's I know she's Anakin's Padawan, but further than that,
Ahsoka Tano came on for the Clone Wars movie, the very unknown. Well, people don't remember that came out in the movie theater and everything. I actually went and saw it. It came out of nowhere too.
Really?
It really did. There was no pop and circumstance. It was just like, hey, there's a Clone Wars movie coming out. It's a cartoon. Go see it. And I called Chris. I was like, let's go see this Clone Wars movie. He's like, all right, let's go. Yeah. We went and saw it. And the movie is very underwhelming. I mean, you should watch it, I guess, but it's underwhelming because, first of all, Ahsoka was annoying in the movie. Okay. Don't forget, she's a Padawan, but she's like a little kid. She's annoying. Okay. She calls Anakin Sky Guy. And it drove me insane.
Oh, boy.
Every time she called him that, it made me insane. I couldn't stand it. And then in the movie, you had to deal with Jabba. Jabba's son gets kidnapped. So now, again, they're going for the cute factor. Little Yoda, little Hutt. Now you got a little Hutt. A little baby Jabba the Hutt, which really aren't that cute anyway because they're giant slugs anyway.
Yeah.
He gets kidnapped, and basically Jabba tells the Jedi, get my kid. And I will join you. Tells Count Dooku, get my kid, and I will join you. I will allow the Hutts will allow you to use their space to travel through, which was like a big thing. It's like opening the BQE. Like whoever controls the BQE controls the war. So it's but the Hutts control the BQE. So it's like, okay, we're gonna open the BQE to whoever gets my kid back. That's the whole premise of the movie.
Wow.
It
does not sound great.
There's some cool parts in it. I said there's some cool parts when they have the war, when they have the battles. But other than that, it's like, even when they announced the show, I was like, please don't have this girl calling him Sky Guy all the time because it's so bad. I think she called him that for maybe a couple times during the first season, and then it became Master Skywalker. It's like, oh, thank God. Yeah. Stop calling him that. So, yeah, she's Anakin's Padawan. She ends up leaving the Order in... don't remember what season, because the Jedi basically do what the Jedi do. They kind of let her out in the wind. She actually had to go to like a court and everything. I forget already everything for. She actually had to go to like court for doing something. I mean, even though she was acquitted, she was like, "You guys didn't stand up for me. You guys didn't protect me. I'm out." And she walked away.
Oh, wow.
Ends up with finding these two girls who all they do is get themselves into trouble. But they're kind of like smugglers and they do bad jobs. But she comes right back into the Jedi and right in time for episode 3, right in time for the Purge. Mm-hmm. And then during Rebels, she pops back and it turns out that she's this big spy that everyone called Fulcrum. She's one of the Fulcrum spies that no one knew about. She pops in the Rebels. And that's when you get her best stuff. You get her, she's not a kid no more. She's an adult. And she comes face to face with Vader. And all this time, she's trying to put the pieces together. Like, how could Anakin die? Anakin was too good of a pilot. Anakin was too good at this. There's no way he could have died. And then when her and Vader go one-on-one for the first time, oh, my God, what a great show. What a great, 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 great episode that is. Because she actually cracks his helmet. Wow. And when she cracks his helmet, she sees his eye. And he looks at her and says, Ahsoka. And boom, it hits her. Holy shit, that's Anakin. And everything rushes through her head. Phenomenal episode. I have a bad cough. I'm sorry. I don't have COVID. I just have a bad cough. Yeah, so that's it. Again, Rebels is something else I recommend to catch up on stuff like that for Ahsoka. She was annoying at first. But then once I like Ahsoka Rebels way better than Clone Wars. Way better. Because she's an adult, she kicks ass and she tries to help everybody. And they said apparently she's still out there fighting because this is after the Empire falls. She's still out there hiding somewhere, living her life, doing her thing.
Nice.
So I was always she's going to pop up in the sequel trilogy, honestly. Even though it's 30 years, we don't know how long her species lives. 100 years might be nothing for her. Like Chewie's 300, 400 years old. Yoda's 900. To them, that's nothing.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I recommend seeing this Ahsoka stuff too. Like when she fights Vader, it's outstanding.
Nice.
Just the emotion, get all emotional and shit.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I mean, that sounds like a big deal right there.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Nice.
Cool. All right, we got anything else before we go?
No, I think that's it. I know. No, that's not even worth it. I was about to say it just popped up on ESPN that Mike Clevenger is getting Tommy John surgery, so good thing the Yankees didn't get him.
Oh, good. Jesus. Dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, no. It sucks. I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but, man, for all those people who are giving him shit about it, maybe it's for the best.
Oh, I posted real quick too. I posted it on Facebook before. Angie doesn't like horror movies, though, right?
She's weird. She'll watch some of them. It depends. Like she watched it. She watched both of them. She's scared of clowns and horror movies. Oh, yeah, that's right. You shared that thing about what the hell's the name of the movie?
Megan's Missing.
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched because it's free on YouTube.
Okay.
I even shared the link. It popped up on. It's been popping up on TikTok a lot. Don't watch this movie alone. Don't watch it at night. Don't watch it by yourself. But I think it's more for women not to do it because it's not. It's a found footage movie.
Okay.
And it's. I mean, the first half is kind of like all right. The last half hour is real fucked up.
Wow.
Like you're watching this going, who made this movie? Like how did like it's not like insanely graphic, like fucking Cannibal Holocaust or anything like that. But I mean it's like it messes with you. I mean, I feel bad for women. I don't tell Angie not to watch this movie.
No, I don't think that'll be a problem.
Because it's basically like shits on social media and how women like, look, don't go meet the guy of your dreams off of social media because you don't know what this guy's gonna be.
Oh boy.
And it's like one of those things with the last half hour, 40 minutes is like the found footage of this girl's video camera. What this guy does, I don't want to ruin it in case you watch it.
Yeah.
But I was like, this ain't gonna be like. Oh, I thought it was like 20 days later. Oh, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna destroy your life. So I'm watching like the first half, and I'm like, it's all right. It's creepy, but it's nothing to it.
Yeah.
And the last half hour, I was like, what just happened?
Wow.
I just sat and watched this. I was like, holy shit.
So you're piquing my curiosity. I'm not going to lie.
It messes with you a little bit. Women more.
Okay.
I don't recommend women to watch it. Got to be honest with you.
Okay. It won't be a lot to get. It will not be a lot to get Angie to watch it. Trust me. If I don't tell her it exists, she won't watch it anyway because she's not going to look it up. But man,
it's free on YouTube. Like I said, in the last, it gets a little graphic. It gets a little crazy, and then you're like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" It almost feels like you just watched like a snuff film, like a real, like it just happened. Like you're watching it actually happen. You're like, "All right, this isn't right. I shouldn't be watching this." So it kind of messes with you a little bit.
Is it kind of like how you felt when you? Well, I mean, I guess more how I felt when I watched Tusk.
No, it's better than Tusk.
But like it was, that movie just kind of like took a bizarre turn, and then all of a sudden I walked out of the theater. I remember we went to see it together, and I was like, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
It is, but it's way more disturbing because this is like
more realistic.
Like Tusk isn't going to happen.
Yeah,
Tusk, no one's going to make you into a giant walrus. It's not going to happen. This could all happen.
Okay.
Remember how Grogan used to say he was afraid of Saw because that shit could happen.
Yeah.
Someone could kidnap you and lock you in a room and torture you for days.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is that. This is what this is. This is like this could happen. And it probably has happened, and it probably does happen, and we don't know about it. So it kind of messes with you a little bit.
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to be thinking about this, and I'm going to end up giving in at some point.
It's not like top greatest horror movies of all time or anything like that. No. It's just one of those freaky little movies that you like ugh. And like I said, that when it gets like the last half hour going, you really start questioning like who made this? Okay. Did you get away with this? Actually, the movie got banned. The movie was made in 2006 or 7, and they banned it. They said we're not showing this movie, and they finally
long ago.
Yeah, and then I think in 2011 is when they finally released it. But again, it got pulled or something. That's how controversial it was. And now all of a sudden it's making the rounds on TikTok and other social media, and it became popular again. And the director actually came out and said, listen, don't watch this at night. Don't watch it by yourself, especially women. It's going to screw you. And it kind of does.
Wow. So I'm going to have to, if I'm going to watch this, because I think I saw it was on Amazon now or something like that.
Amazon, you have to pay.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, YouTube is free. I think I posted the link. If not, you can just go on YouTube and look up Megan is Missing.
Okay.
There's like 4 different links. I think one of them is even in Spanish.
All right.
And it's not that long. You can knock it out quick.
It's like under an hour and a half or something like that?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. So
the first half is, I can't even tell you. I don't want to ruin it in case you watch it.
Yeah. You are piquing my interest at this, honestly, but I know I'm going to have to watch it apparently at noon, like 11 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's not going to do that to you. I would see you doing it to a woman.
Okay.
Especially single women who like to go on the internet and like meet dudes. It's like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore because I'm not doing that shit anymore.
So I'm going to put this on my list of movies to watch when Angie goes to book club or something like that. If she does something, because I know this sounds like it'll mess her up anyway, because there's a horror element to it, so it's going to mess her up. So I'll add that to it.
It's a real life horror, which I think is scarier than Freddy or Jason or Michael Myers. I think is more real than any of them.
That's what I've always said, and that's what I don't understand with Angie. She's petrified of Freddy Krueger, but she'll watch Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween's
go figure. Yeah,
a guy
exactly.
can take a mental institution and kill you.
Yes.
Freddy's not going to come in your dreams.
No.
So I recommend it.
All right.
Again, I'm not saying it's like top greatest of all time, but it's one of those. I was like, well, now you're piquing my curiosity here. So I popped it on today, and I'm sitting there and working. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? Like, why am I watching this?
Rick is going to watch this.
Yeah, Rick should watch it. This is right at Rick's alley.
Yeah, he's going to watch it.
He'll come out with like a 13-page analyzation and camera shots and lighting. It's like, dude, that ain't this movie.
Or he'll tell you,
if you can get through the last 30 minutes, you're good to go.
Well, the Rick synopsis of what you just said would be, girl just goes ahead, goes on a date, gets fucked up. That's it. And it's sorry.
Fuck, see you later. It's dark outside. All right, gotta go.
Yeah, that's it. I gotta go. That's it.
That's true. I miss Rick's reviews.
He should have a thing. He should go on like whatever it was, TikTok or something like that, and just do like quick movie reviews and just give like 2 sentences and just that's it. That's the video.
Or we should do that.
We should. Rick's video, yeah, as him. That'll be the other show we do.
And then we make sure we tag him.
Exactly. He would love it. He'd love it. He's embraced it now. He's fine with it.
All right, so we went on a nice little tangent there. I gave us up to almost an hour. Good.
Yeah,
I do recommend that movie. Again, it's not gonna like, you're not gonna go out and buy a T-shirt or a hat and like, wow, that was awesome. You're not gonna think it's awesome. You're gonna think like, wow, what the fuck did I just watch this movie? But in a good way. In a good way. Yeah.
Not in a 28 Days Later way.
No, something happens in this one.
Oh, well, then there you go.
Nothing happens in that movie. Things happen in this one. So, yeah, it's kind of messed up. So I recommend it. Watch it. Let me know how you like it.
All right. I think I will. I'm going to check it out this week. I will save it. That'll be on my list.
If she watches it, I apologize ahead of time. Do it at Saturday afternoon.
Yes. When
the light, open all the shades. No darkness.
Put Marvel out of the room. She won't let her watch it either.
All right, cool. All right, so next week we'll be back with Chapter 12 review. Hopefully we'll see Ahsoka Tano, Rosario Dawson. If not, oh well. I bet the episode's going to be great. And hopefully we'll have some good free agency news or trades for the Yankees. Okay, that's it. Ed, any final words before we go?
Not much, guys. That's it. So real simple. Wear your mask. Clean your hands, like Tim said earlier. And this is the way.
Yes, because I don't want to go back into lockdown, even though I know we're going back into lockdown. I don't want to go into lockdown, but we're going back into lockdown. You know why I don't want to go back into lockdown? Because I don't go into lockdown. I have to go to work.
This is true.
So it's no fun.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to go.
Everyone else
gets to stay home and be cozy and stay inside and stay clean. I have to go out and scrub shit that people might have touched who have COVID.
No.
Exactly. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.